can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way that words do as they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say, let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. What you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. I wanna see you. I just wanna see you. I wanna see you. I wanna see you be brave. I wanna see you. I just wanna see you. I wanna see you. I wanna see you be brave. Everybody's been there, everybody stared down by the enemy, falling for the fear and done disappearing. Bow down to the mighty. Don't run. Stop holding your tongue. Maybe there's a way out of the cage where you live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in. Show me how big your brave is. Say what you wanna say. Let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say. Let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. And since your history of silence is what you wanna do, did you think it would let your words be anything but empty? Why don't you tell them the truth? Say what you wanna say. Let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. What you wanna say, and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. Wanna see you. I just wanna see you. I wanna see you. I wanna see you be brave. Wanna see you. I just wanna see you. I wanna see you. I wanna see you be brave.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Caroline Pfeffer, and your Women's Leadership Committee event chair for this evening. One reason that I volunteer is our committee's support of a unique scholarship program that gives young people of all backgrounds and faith the opportunity to come to the museum and learn firsthand about the Holocaust. Students witness our survivors' stories and also use interactive tools that enable them to learn about upstanders from around the world. Our young guests are inspired to explore meaningful and constructive ways to make an impact in their own communities. Our work never ends. With each new visitor, Illinois Holocaust Museum helps foster a more inclusive and tolerant community. Your donation tonight is instrumental in supporting the museum's important mission. Take a stand and let's get to work. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Susie Carcomi. I'm a daughter of a Holocaust survivor and a daughter-in-law of 2 Holocaust survivors. I've been a member of the Women's Leadership Committee of the Illinois Holocaust Museum for 12 years. The committee provides support for the museum by way of hosting events as well as promoting social and educational programming. Our education and programming departments, as well as our docents, our volunteers, and our staff, are beyond remarkable. With the increase of hate crimes today, as well as discrimination on so many levels, the need to teach about tolerance, humanity, and the lessons of the Holocaust are more urgent than ever in order to impact positive change. It's time to show up and stand up. Acquiescence and silence are unacceptable. Please join us tonight in supporting the museum. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Have fun.
Good evening, I'm Candace Jordan, and I'm proud to be your host for tonight's virtual soiree. I'm coming to you live for the first and hopefully last event like this until we can gather again safely next year. And how amazing was Katie Kadan, and how lucky are we to have such a special homegrown talent. In case you didn't know, Katie had a meteoric rise to the top when she became a finalist and global crowd favorite on NBC's The Voice in December. Stay tuned, we'll hear more from Katie later. Thank you, Caroline, Susie, and the Women's Leadership Committee, who all worked so hard to pivot and turn the soiree virtual. For those of you who haven't been, take my word for it. The Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center is life-changing, and its work is always very important, especially during these crazy and challenging times. When stories of racism, anti-Semitism, and violence are in the headlines, teaching the lessons of the Holocaust and drawing connections to our world today is even more urgent, which is why the museum needs your support now more than ever. That's what tonight is all about. A heartfelt thank you to all who have made donations and/or bought raffle tickets prior to tonight's event. The virtual soiree is all about raising funds to support the important work of the museum. So give, 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 and give some more. There are many ways to donate, all of which are on the screen. And you can still buy raffle tickets, 4 great prizes for 1 great cause. And we'll be drawing the winners live at the end of the event, so keep watching. And here's a special incentive to give right now. If you make a donation in the next 30 minutes, you will be eligible to win these great museum gifts, which includes a family membership for a whole year, and we'll be drawing the lucky winner live, so be sure to stay tuned. And by the way, all of the great items in this gift basket and many, many more are available at the museum's Legacy Shop or at the online gift shop. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Juliet Gray, President of the Women's Leadership Committee.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. It is my privilege to serve as president of the Women's Leadership Committee of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. We are so pleased to be together tonight, even though we would much rather be celebrating in person. Despite these very difficult times, which have impacted all of us in different ways, whether it be trying to keep yourself and your family safe, dealing with the impact on jobs and the economy, or facing the obvious inequities and laid bare by the pandemic, the mission of the museum has never been more important and more vital. Thankfully, we have this opportunity tonight to get together virtually and support the museum. Its leadership, staff, docents, and volunteers work tirelessly to preserve the lessons of the Holocaust and fight injustice and racism. We are so grateful for your time, your efforts, and your contributions to this uniquely important cause. Special thanks to our emcee Candace Jordan, our musical guests Katie Kadan and Lori Akers, and Pastor Chris Harris from Bright Star Church in Bronzeville. This evening wouldn't have been possible without event chair Caroline Pfeffer, entertainment co-chairs Eileen Kugman and Leslie Schaffel, the entire Women's Leadership Committee, and our fabulous staff. My family and I are honored to be a part of the soiree and this very special place. Our goal tonight is to raise $250,000, and with your help, we are confident that we'll reach it. All donations are welcome, and raffle ticket sales are still open. While we're entertaining and educating you about the museum, please watch the screens, and you'll see the various ways to give. Call, text, or go to the museum's website. And on that note, please enjoy tonight's program. We look forward to seeing everyone next year in person.
I joined the Women's Leadership Board to honor the memory of my great-grandparents who perished in the Holocaust, and to honor the memory of my grandparents who persevered to establish a Jewish life in America.
Because its mission is personal to me and my family, and because the museum's exhibits are truly incredible. I find the museum's offerings to be exciting, thoughtful, creative, and educational.
I'm humbled to have the opportunity to help increase awareness of anti-Semitism given the recent surge of anti-Semitic incidents. I was drawn to this committee because the money raised is used to teach youth how to become an upstander rather than being a bystander.
Because I wanted to support the most important work the museum does on a daily basis. This year especially, we need to educate and teach the lessons of the Holocaust. We can never forget. Please help us tonight by making a donation. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie Kadan.
And I'm John Molnar.
And we're here to say thank you so much for supporting the Holocaust Museum of Illinois, such an important cause. I've been writing a book about my life and learning so much about my maternal grandparents who both immigrated from Germany, both Jewish, and established a home in the South. And so this is a cause that is very near and dear to my heart. And of course,
and you married a Jew from Highland Park.
I did. I married a Jew, and my mom is Jew, so that makes me a member of the tribe, everybody. Who knew?
A graduate of Temple Solel.
Oh.
Yes, barely.
Mazel.
Yeah.
Mazel to you. And also we went to Auschwitz a couple of years ago because we felt it was so important that everyone should bear witness so this never happens again. Anyway, we also want to say thank you to Bloomberg Philanthropies as well as the Crown family. We love the Crowns. And just to all of you.
Gray.
Yes, and Juliet Gray for organizing this. And thank you all for your support. It's so, so important.
I agree. Thank you. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. As Mike and I thought about what we wanted to say, we kept coming back to how the work of the museum is so incredibly important now. Like many of you, we have been trying to find resources to help us understand what's going on in the world and to learn what we can do to really make a difference. Through its collections, exhibits, and programs, the museum can teach us valuable, universal lessons that combat hatred, prejudice, and indifference.
The museum and its mission are personal to us and at the center of so many memories, including our son Joey, whose bar mitzvah ceremony took place at the museum. Over the years, we've encouraged many of our friends, both Jewish and not Jewish, to visit the museum for a chance to learn what it truly stands for. Following the recent tragic events surrounding racial and social injustice, the real educational opportunities that the museum provides around tolerance and acceptance are more important than ever.
I was a volunteer at the museum, and during that time, I saw numerous students and teachers visit every year. At the museum, incredible staff and docents brought these lessons to this young audience. Donations are vital to be able to offer these educational programs to as many people as possible, including those schools and students who otherwise cannot afford to visit.
The mission of the museum, remember the past, transform the future, resonates with us even more deeply now, and we are honored to be able to join you, even if it's only virtually, to lend our voices to those who are celebrating the important work of the museum and its staff.
So please join us in supporting the Illinois Holocaust Museum at such an important time and make a donation tonight. Thank you.
Boy, I had no idea that John Molnar grew up on the North Shore, did you? Well, thank you, John and Katie. I'd love to be sitting in the United Center watching our beloved Chicago Bulls play. Thank you, Nancy and Michael, for your support. We're fortunate to have you as part of the museum family. Now here's a special message from another homegrown Chicagoan, Bonnie Hunt.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Hunt, and I just wanted to share a story about a defining moment in my life. I was in a car accident when I was 14 years old, and I was in the hospital for a couple months, and typical teenager, feeling really sorry for myself and just devastated that I had been injured and had to go through this recovery process. And one of those days I was complaining to my mom, and she said, I want you to read a book, and then we'll talk about how you're feeling about everything you're going through. So she gave me the book Night by Elie Wiesel, my mom in all her infinite wisdom. And I read the book, and it changed me. The discovery of something so horrific in our history of the Holocaust, that prejudice could lead to such evil and destruction and sadness and devastation, and that it didn't discriminate about age, I mean, all the Jewish people, the young children, and what Mr. Rizel went through as a young man, it opened my heart and my mind. It led me on a road to be more compassionate, to be more understanding and tolerant, and it changed me. Later on, I would become an oncology nurse, and I would work in fundraising even after becoming an actor. I stayed so closely involved in that part of my life, and it would lead me to work with the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. I was with them for many, many years, and one year we found out that Mr. Rizel had been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, and of course, as he did his entire life, he came to be of service and to help and to give. And he was at one of our fundraisers, and the first time I got to meet him, and the minute he took my hand and I looked into his eyes, I was as emotional, even more so than I am right now. And I told him how he changed my life and set me on the right course emotionally, and with respect and love for all other people. And something that really struck me is it was a long day, and he was not feeling well, and his wife was in a wheelchair, and they were there with their son. It was just an incredible evening, and I said to him, I'm sorry it's going to be such a long day for you today with all the event planning and everything we got going on. And he said, oh, I don't believe in complaining. And once again, he changed me and helped me with that one line. I don't believe in complaining after everything he's been through. So God rest his soul. I feel so fortunate that his life touched mine, and I hope that all the work that you're doing, remembering the Holocaust and bringing that history in front of people now, we can only learn from it, and it could only make us better people. So thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for listening to my story. And thank you, Mr. Rizel. I'm so happy I got to meet you, and that my mom gave me this book, my beautiful mom.
Hi, I'm here tonight with the dynamic CEO of the Illinois Holocaust Museum, Susan Abrams. Susan, thank you for being here tonight, live and in person. I know you have been on the front lines of balancing the opening of the museum and keeping visitors safe. How's that all been going, and how hard has that been?
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, Candace, and a huge thank you to our Women's Leadership Committee, the WLC. They have put together such a special evening for us. As you know, we were one of the first museums in Chicago to open. Thank you for that. And it's been going remarkably well. We are attracting a range of visitors, and we have put into place, as you can imagine and as you've seen, all kinds of safety procedures so that we can keep people feeling comfortable during their visit, so that we can keep staff, volunteers, and of course our visitors safe.
Yeah.
What did you think when you had the chance to visit?
Well, you know, first of all, there's two words for a visit to that museum, and it was profoundly moving is what I would say. And I also felt very safe. I mean, your precautions are, you know, non-pariah, I would guess. But the thing that, affected me the most was that throughout the tour, you felt like you were taking that trip with the survivors. And I mean, it goes from hopeless to hopeful. I mean, it was just 65,000 square feet of, packed with these artifacts. I mean, it was just profoundly moving. And I loved every minute of it. Everybody should see it, by the way.
That's exactly what we hope. Thank you.
Yeah. And so what has it been like to pivot from a museum full of student groups and visitors to offering content online?
It's actually been remarkably smooth. I might not have imagined, but the pivot to everything online and working remotely went well. We found we were able to put our exhibitions, our programs, our field trip tours, our teacher trainings, literally everything online in ways that are actually helping us to reach more broadly in the community, and now far beyond Chicago and Illinois, across the country. And our programs have even reached 1,000 people, including internationally.
Wow, that's fabulous.
Yeah. So we have had our law enforcement training even be very successful. It's quite remarkable.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, everybody knows that these are very unsettling times that we're living in, and the museum has positioned itself really as a thought leader in the community. How's the museum remaining relevant and reacting to the ever-increasing racism and anti-Semitism in society?
Yeah, these, as you know, are remarkable, extraordinary times in not the good way,
Yeah.
and our mission has never been more urgent as anti-Semitism and other forms of hatred and bigotry have been on the rise. We've been using op-eds. We've placed 5 different op-eds, some of them addressing even inappropriate uses of Holocaust references, the swastika, yes, accusing those trying to keep us safe, like our governor, of, being a Nazi, which is just so inappropriate and historically inaccurate and belittling of everything that our survivors went through. So we're taking these opportunities to really speak out. And even as we see other things like Deshaun Jackson, the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver, when that got a lot of attention because he used anti-Semitic language, we took the opportunity to send to the entire Eagles team a trunk full of materials, survivor memoirs, and so much more, so that they could all learn along with him.
Yeah, I think everybody should get a box like that, by the way. So, many institutions nowadays are struggling financially, actually almost all of them. So how's the museum holding up under all that?
Thank you for asking that, too. Thanks to our wonderful family of members and donors, we're doing remarkably well, but it isn't easy. It's a very challenging year, and we know next year will be too. But people are realizing that the museum's mission and work has never been more urgent. And an evening like tonight with the WLC, you're all able to support so well the museum through an event that is so important for us.
Yeah. Well, what's next for the museum? You have so many things planned.
We do have so many things planned, and I'm thrilled to share with everyone that our Notorious RBG exhibition has been extended from August, when it was first going to close, to now all the way through the end of the year. So that's
fabulous.
Yes.
It was really fabulous.
And a bit uplifting during these challenging times. Yeah.
She's a remarkable woman.
Yeah, and then we're going to follow that up with Mandela's Struggle for Freedom, which couldn't be more timely. And continuing on in 2021, we've got a remarkable exhibition on the Shanghai ghetto, Shanghai, China, which is a little-known aspect of the Holocaust story. And then to close out 2021, we'll be presenting Rise Up, which is the story of Stonewall and the LGBTQ movement.
Wow, you cover everything there at that fabulous museum. Thank you so much, Susan. And now we have a lot more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good evening, and thank you again for your support. I'm Eileen Kugman, museum board member, co-founder of the Women's Leadership Committee, and tonight, your co-entertainment chair for our first ever virtual soiree. I became part of the museum family because my aunt is a Holocaust survivor from Auschwitz. For many years, I've listened to her stories. I know her tales. And as I've grown older, I've always wondered what will happen to those stories, to those photographs, to those tales. Once she is gone, once I'm gone. For many years, our museum speakers bureau, which consists of survivors as well as eyewitnesses, have brought many stories to light. But now, with our state-of-the-art interactive survivor stories experience, which is part of our Take a Stand Center, you can interact with survivors on a one-on-one basis, even after our beloved survivors are gone. But we can't do it without you. Your donation tonight will let us continue to do our great work, to keep those voices, to keep those stories, to keep those faces from fading. And now, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I present to you the president of the Illinois Holocaust Museum, Holocaust survivor, and my aunt, Fritzie Fritschel.
My name is Fritzie Fritschel, and I would like to say thank you
to the Women's Leadership Committee and the gentlemen that helped the ladies that did so well this year with their fundraising so that the museum can continue to do its good work. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing while I am sitting at home in front of the computer, just saying thank you over and over. It is important to me as a Holocaust survivor for the museum to exist so it can teach about the past, so it can teach for the future about what is happening today with anti-Semitism raising its head again. And so of what the ladies have done for the museum, working so hard, I will always ask you, and I have asked you in the past, and I will ask you again, if you can possibly help to keep the museum open during this bad time, to do whatever you can so the Holocaust is never forgotten. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Zaney, Vice President of Education and Exhibitions for Illinois Holocaust Museum. I am so sorry I can't be with you tonight, but I am actually thrilled because I'm in one of my favorite places in the Carcomie Holocaust exhibition. I'm surrounded by our beloved Holocaust survivors. When I walk by this space and I look at the faces and smiles and in the eyes of our survivors, I see an incredible strength and resiliency and dignity. And for me, I think I draw strength from that because it affirms the work that we do every day inside and outside the walls of this museum. But when I look at some of these pictures, Aaron and Sephora and Magda, who's to my right, we've recently lost them. Magda we lost only a couple of weeks ago. But I remember Magda shortly after the Tree of Life shooting in Pittsburgh was scheduled to speak there to a group of students. And rather than cancel her event, she said, now they need me more than ever. And I think it's important for us to remember that message, that now more than ever, we need to remember the lessons that our survivors have to teach us, draw strength from their survival, and be witness to their history so that we can continue to do the work we do every day. Thank you.
Greetings to all and shalom. Welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Magda Brown and I am a Holocaust survivor.
My name is Ernie Hyman.
Agnes Schwartz, Galina Novitsky,
Erna Gorman, Kurt Friend, Bill Boros,
Estelle Glazer-Laughlin, Rhodey Glass,
Ruth Gilbert,
Sarah Burston, and I am a Holocaust survivor. I'm a Holocaust survivor.
And I am a Holocaust survivor.
The purpose is not to curse the darkness of the past, but to illuminate the future.
What do you say to Holocaust deniers?
Deniers? Oh God.
They tried to silence us, but our voices are still heard.
Unfortunately, with the influx of high-tech knowledge, anti-Semitism is spreading much faster than in the past.
It's wrong.
Teach your children not to discriminate, that we are all created equal.
If we don't learn from history, we're going to repeat the same mistakes that we made years and years ago.
I hope that these atrocities will stop and that people will stop hating each other.
Find an upstander. Be an upstander.
Don't stand idly by. Do something. Say something.
As much as this virus is keeping us at home, it is also showing us how people are upstanders. We're all trying to help everybody.
And we shall overcome these times as well. So don't worry.
I have a little mantra that I want to share with all of you. And that is, you have to have faith fantasy, drive, determination, and hope that tomorrow will be better.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for, you're welcome.
Well, pardon us for a few technical difficulties. It is a live event, you know, so that happens. Well, Fritzy is simply amazing. She is a role model for us all. As we saw Kelly surrounded by photographs of the cherished survivors in the Karkomi Holocaust exhibition, I'm reminded that the local survivors had significant input into creating and building the museum. To keep their memories and legacies alive, the museum will educate the community with impactful and innovative exhibitions and programming for future generations. And now, join us for a great musical performance led by Jewish musical artist Lori Akers, cantors from North Shore congregations, and singers from Pastor Chris Harris's Bright Star Church of Chicago.
Take my hand, I'll take yours. Together we can open doors.
If you see me and I see you, for who we are, then we'll get through.
If we sing one song, we stand strong. You feel alone and you're confused. You witness hatred and abuse.
You don't know what to do.
You see the world is full of strife. So many seek a better life.
You ask, what can I do? Take my hand, I'll take yours. Together we can open doors. If you see me and I see you, for who we are, then we'll get through. If we sing one song, we stand strong. No more injustice, no more war. We will rise up one day more. We know what to do.
We will love, not fight our way. That's our promise for today.
This is what we will do.
Take my hand, I'll take yours. Together we can open doors. If you see me and I see you, for who we are, then we'll get through. If we sing one song, we stand strong. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone, we are not alone. We are not alone. Take my hand and I'll take yours. Together we can know we are not alone. If you see me and I see you, for who we are, then we'll get through. If we sing one song, if we sing one song, if we sing one song, we stand strong. We are not alone.
Hi, I'm Jill Cartman. Thank you so much for supporting the Illinois Holocaust Museum. It has been a crazy year, but never more important than staying focused on protecting ourselves with our voice. It's the best weapon we have, speaking up against injustice. And, you know, whenever there's a plague, historically, they blame us. So make sure they don't, and always stand up for yourself, even if it's a little thing. I feel like you have to nip anti-Semitism in the bud. My son, 2 years ago at his school, had a terrible anti-Semite in the class who said he was a fan of Hitler and God sent Hitler down to kill the Jews because we nailed Jesus to the cross. Nice. I made a big stink about it, and half the people supported me and half thought I was making a mountain out of a molehill. And I say, there are no molehills. We have to speak up now so that things don't escalate, and it's just really important to use your voice. So thank you for your generosity and donating and helping the museum enable people to learn more so that it doesn't happen again. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Katie Kadan, and I'm the president of Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights. I just want to say a big shout out to all of my friends at the Illinois Holocaust Museum. Programs like the Illinois Holocaust Museum, they involve two things. One is looking at the past and seeing what the destructive force of hatred, but also it's about looking to the future. It's about teaching students about empathy and understanding and giving them the words to identify their emotions, social emotional learning. But it can't be that alone. It's also activism, showing kids how they can make a difference, showing all of us that one person can make a difference, that each of us has something to give to our society, to our world. And that's what the Illinois Holocaust Museum is all about. I so wish I could be with all of you there tonight. I love that this is a group of strong, powerful, visionary women who are making a difference in the world. And I send you all my love.
I still remember my first visit to the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. It was actually for a PD that my district was offering for some of its staff members. And I remember sitting in that PD, having toured the museum and hearing the expertise offered and feeling just this high sense of emotion. And that emotion came because I was in a place that I knew shared my values and ideals, not only mine, but those that I had for my students. And I was really excited to share with my students this idea that you can remember the past, but you can also transform the future. And the museum did that with such poise and elegance and depth that I knew that I'd have to bring my students again and again, and I have. It has become a second home for me. When I need comfort, I bring myself to the museum. When people visit me, I bring them to the museum. Also, part of that is the survivors who bring history to life and whose stories connect on so many human levels. That first visit, I got a chance to hear Aaron Elster's story and had a chance to personally connect with him, and that has forever changed me as a human being. I am so grateful and so thankful for all the museum does to support youth and to support adults in furthering their educational understanding of the Holocaust, but also social justice all around.
Good evening. My name is Rita Mathias, and I am a docent and a member of the Women's Leadership Committee of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. My role as a docent for many years has given me endless opportunities to witness the power of education to inspire visitors of all ages. We ask our visitors to interpret the artifacts, the spaces, and the stories in our museum. The knowledge and powerful personal stories we share of the Holocaust and contemporary issues can be life-changing for our visitors. This knowledge is power as it inspires all of us not to be silent in the face of anti-Semitism, racism, and hatred. We encourage each of you to support the efforts of the Women's Leadership Committee tonight so that we may continue to offer these world-class educational opportunities. Please join our efforts with your support and join us by taking humanity to heart. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alexandria Catino, a senior at Taft High School, and I'm involved with the Holocaust Museum's Teen Board. Through the Teen Board, I got to visit the museum and learn about the history, as well as current social injustices and how to be an upstander. Through the museum, I got to learn a lot more than the traditional tour show, and the biggest takeaway I had from it was learning about worldwide social injustices and how to be an upstander and fix these injustices.
Hi, it's Melissa Foreman from 93.9 Light FM in Chicago. I hope you're having an amazing night, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Illinois Holocaust Museum for watching, for being a part of tonight. If you haven't realized already, it is one of the most spectacular places on earth. It's a place to teach our children about humanity and humility and kindness. Before I started this video, I just asked Briar, who was in 8th grade last year, about what she remembered about going to the Illinois Holocaust Museum. And she said, "Mom, I remember leaving and thinking to myself, how could people let that happen? How could people let that happen?" And right now, sadly, we're in a world of those same questions, and so it is so vital and important that the Illinois Holocaust Museum is there and it is strong. And we thank you so much for donating. Dig deep. I was just going through these couch cushions looking for any extra cash. Whatever you can give, please donate. Make sure that the Illinois Holocaust Museum stays here to teach the future generations about what we already know. I want to leave you with one quick story. I had the honor of hosting Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Dr. Ruth, when she was here in Chicago speaking at the Illinois Holocaust Museum, and she told a story that I'll never forget about when her father was taken away by the Nazis. It was the last time she'd see him. And it was in the middle of the night, and the father noticed a young 10-year-old Ruth in the window. And when he did, he looked up and he saw her, and he smiled, and he waved. And then within a year or so after that, they decided to send Ruth away to an orphanage in Switzerland so she would be safe. And her mother and grandmother took her to the train. She got on that train and she noticed the agony of her mother and grandmother waiting outside. And just before the train pulled away, Ruth looked out the window. She smiled and she waved. We can never forget. We have to remember, and we have to continue to teach future generations about what we know. Thank you so much on behalf of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and my new dear friend, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, for everything you're doing tonight. Okay? Please be well and healthy, and we hope to see you there very, very soon.
I hope everybody's having fun out there and enjoying this fabulous show. As you can see, education is the cornerstone of the museum, as it inspires more than 200,000 students, teachers, and visitors each year to become upstanders who speak out against hate and indifference. We had an overwhelming response with donations during the first 30 minutes of our event. Yay! So it is now my pleasure to select the lucky winner of the museum gifts. Susan, would you join me on stage? Thank you. Look how pretty you look. Oh my God. Now don't forget, there's still time to make donations and to buy raffle tickets. And we'll be drawing the winning tickets live at the end of the event, so keep watching. Maybe you'll hear your name. All right, now wait, what is this for? The first one? Okay. Number 663. Oh, the name. Live. Deborah Jo Barrett. Yay, Deborah Jo. Okay, thank you, Susan. Isn't she cute? Oh my God, she's so cute. Okay, now join me to hear from a very special survivor.
Hello, my name is Sam Harris. I'm President Emeritus of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. I'm also a Holocaust survivor. I've been told, and it's probably true, that I'm one of the youngest survivors in the world, having survived 2 concentration camps. I am so proud of our museum, particularly proud when I drive by and see 10, 11 yellow buses parked outside, bringing in children from all schools, and from other states too, and they're learning about what can happen if we don't remember the past. We're condemned to repeat it in the future. We're living in tough times, and the Holocaust Museum is a beacon in the world of reminding people why this is a great country, and we must continue with our democracy. So continue with your good work. I'm very proud of everyone. Dee Dee and I wish for you to have a wonderful time tonight. Goodbye.
Hi, I hope you're going to donate to the Holocaust Museum or do something where you're an upstander, not just a bystander. I made a documentary with my best friend, Price Arana. She directed it, and I produced it. We made a documentary about Sam Harris, who founded the Holocaust Museum. It's called An Undeniable Voice, and we have won a lot of documentary film festivals with our little 15-minute documentary, and it's a beautiful thing. We learned a lot about Sam and why he chose to make the Holocaust Museum. It was a pleasure. And we hope that you will support the Holocaust Museum and all of the wonderful and important things that it stands for. Thank you.
Wow, talk about a star-studded lineup. Jill Kargman, Sharon Stone, and our very own Melissa Foreman, who I adore. How great were they? Well, you know, another important educational initiative is the museum's police training program. The staff trains all recruits and promotional officers from the Chicago Police Department and other municipalities. The officers spend a day at the museum learning to balance the rights of individuals with the needs of democracy. And now let's hear from some of the men and women in blue.
This law enforcement program to me is so vital and so important because it speaks to the heart and soul of who we are as a police officer. And it also holds us as a collective group to reach for that higher standard, because we learn through lessons of history, through the Holocaust, by looking at policing in Nazi Germany, of what happens when that higher standard falls apart and the whole community falls apart. We do that by discussing ethical decision-making, bias training, hate crimes, and the use of authority for the good or for the bad, and what that outcome is. And it touches the heart and soul of everyone. And at the very end of the day, to cap it off, we hear from a survivor that puts reality and puts a personal face to the lessons that we learn that day and talk about. And that caps it off with we always do a review at the end of the day. And one comment that was made said, "Today I learned my uniform is bigger than me."
But for those who are in law enforcement, you have a special responsibility. You have a special authority, and you have to learn. You have to learn to always treat people with respect and dignity, and understand them and understand their culture and their community.
I cannot tell you how important it is for the Holocaust Museum and the LEAD program to provide a truly human experience.
Hello, my name is Alexander Glantz, and I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. As a Jewish person, it's incredibly important to me to not only remember, but to continuously learn from our history. My Bubby is a Holocaust survivor. She was born in a Gulag labor camp and overcame truly inconceivable circumstances to survive and eventually to prosper here in Chicago. She's lived this tragically remarkable life, which is why it's so important that her story and so many stories like hers are able to live on forever. I'm so proud of my ancestors and of my heritage, which is why I'm so honored to be donating tonight, and I urge you to please do the same so that we may never forget.
I love working with the Illinois Holocaust Museum because every time I'm reminded why I was brought here. They stand for humanity, the arts, everything that I think is important. And also, an Illinois Holocaust Museum event will always leave you breathless. It's so powerful because at the end of the day, we want to stand up, create change, and walk out of here wanting to create action. And that's why I love the Illinois Holocaust Museum.
Hello, I'm Chloe Eimer. I've been involved with the museum for a little over a year now. And what's been so meaningful in this past year is how, first off, how proud the museum has made me feel and how powerful it's made me feel in my voice. And I think most importantly, how it's made my mindset change of what a young adult can do and what really everyone can do to make a difference in this world and to make things better. And that's been such a meaningful thing, to be able to feel like after this I can go out, I can change things. And being at a museum where you've seen what's happened when people don't feel like that, it makes you realize how important it is to foster that type of mindset. And I think that's just so beautifully created in this environment of indulging in your passions, creating new ones, and having a loud voice and speaking up, being an upstander.
Thank you, officers. Well, you might wonder why I'm channeling the remarkable Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Well, as Susan mentioned when we were chatting earlier, the museum is hosting a very exciting exhibition on her life. It is a must-see. I would, of course, have my robe tailored a little bit. But now is the moment that you've all been waiting for. It's time to draw the raffle winner. Susan is right here on stage with me. So we're going to pick the winner for Chicago Cut Steakhouse, one of my very favorites in Chicago. And it's a $1,000 gift certificate. And believe me, it is the best steak around. And they have a great outdoor patio that is perfect for pandemic dining. Now let's mix them up. And the winner is, this is so exciting. Let's see. The winner is Jean and Jeff Buress. Buress. B-U-R-E-E-S-S? She doesn't speak, and I need stronger contacts. Okay, so there's the winner for that. Now what's next? Let's see. Okay, who doesn't need an iPad Air? It's perfect for reading and binge watching your favorite shows, and the winner for that is, let's hope I can read it. Okay. Oh, Kelly and Mike Goldberg. Yay! And now for the next prize, who will be the lucky winner of the old Rip Van Winkle 10-year age bourbon, one of the most sought after and hardest to find bourbons. And the winner is, I hope me, no, I'm only kidding. It's Lon Comsaro and Marius, I'm butchering these, aren't I? Marius Wyman? All right. Okay, well, she said that's okay, so all right. So everyone wants a Peloton bike, and they are in such high demand, but especially with our frigid Chicago winter only a few months away, the timing to win this is perfect. And the Peloton goes to Leslie Conan. Yay, an easy name. Leslie Conan, winner of the bike. Okay, so thank you for watching. Your support tonight is so very important. And if you haven't donated, you can text to give or make an online donation. The information is on your screen now. And again, a big thank you to all who have already donated. Well, as you know, we live in very sobering times. Hatred and bigotry and violence are on the rise. The museum's team works hard every day to combat prejudice and indifference. Now it's up to you to make the Holocaust survivors proud and carry their legacy forward. Become an upstander. And as we conclude tonight's event, take a look at the great crew and museum staff who have been working hard behind the scenes to bring you this wonderful virtual soiree. Yay! Now please join me in watching Katie Kadan sing Stronger Together. And this year, you can stay until the end because you won't have to wait in line at the valet. Thank you for watching.
It's been raining, it's been pouring all around all way too long, and we're at that point of breaking, so we must keep on holding on. We gotta be strong for each other, we gotta be there for each other, we gotta care if we wanna be free. We gotta raise up our voices, stand up, make right choices, so we can be who we wanna be. Don't you know that we are stronger together? Stronger, yes we are. How much more when we're united together? One mind, one soul, one heart, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. shower.